Welcome to Mile High Living. I'm Sam Boyd. Thanks for joining us today. Have you looked into your retirement investment portfolio lately? Well, today, to help us think about some new ideas, we are so happy to have back in the studio the CEO of New Direction Trust Company, Kevin Dodson. Welcome back.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, we've talked about this before, but please help remind me, especially, what is a self-directed IRA and how does it work?
So most of your viewers are probably familiar with what we'd call a basic IRA.
Right.
Basic IRA is provided by Schwab, E-Trade, Vanguard, where you buy Wall Street products, so stocks, bonds, mutual funds, things like that. A self-directed or an alternative IRA opens up the entire portfolio to open up to what we would call alternative assets. So you don't have to buy just what's on Wall Street.
Great. And so walk us through a little bit more detail on that. What is an alternative asset?
So there's kind of big four of the alternative assets. First one is precious metals. So your viewers could actually buy in their IRA a gold bar.
Oh.
Two would be what we call private debt. That's just a fancy word for peer-to-peer loans. So if you needed a loan, I could actually loan money out of my IRA, and those interest payments or those payments coming back are tax advantaged. Third is real estate. We talked about that before, where you can actually buy rental real estate in your IRA. And the fourth one is what we call private equity.
Wow. And so what is not an alternative asset? Is that the things that you were mentioning earlier?
Correct.
Okay. So,
yeah, so
stocks and like
stocks,
Wall Street things.
Bonds, ETFs, those types of things would be not considered traditional assets. Alternatives are ones that are kind of the best way is, you know, local versus Wall Street is kind of the way we look at it.
Okay, great. Thank you for pointing it out that way. Now, you mentioned, of course, we did talk about real estate last time. You opened my mind to so many things that I didn't even know about that you could do with this self-directed IRA.
Absolutely.
But today, let's talk about and sort of dive into the details on private equity.
Absolutely.
What is that and how does that work with an IRA?
Private equity sounds like a big scary word, but really it's private stock. So think of a private company. So there's, you know, we like to think that it allows people to invest locally. So for example, say you had a friend that was opening a boutique in Cherry Creek.
Okay.
And sold fancy gloves. I'm trying something crazy, right?
Opera gloves.
Yeah, yeah, very nice gloves, because that's what Cherry Creek needs, more gloves.
Right.
And so they open up this boutique and they're looking for investors.
Okay.
You as a friend could go and take your IRA and invest in that boutique.
Fantastic.
It is, and it goes from investing local, like in a local boutique. We have 7 breweries that people have invested in.
Wow.
All the way to startups that have not gone public yet. So things like SpaceX. We've had clients that were able to get into SpaceX early with private equity instead of waiting to go public to take advantage of that time.
Okay, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier as well, or mentioned it. Tax advantages.
Sure.
Does this kind of coincide with the self-directed IRA?
It does. So a self-directed IRA and a basic IRA have the same principles. There's no difference. So you have a traditional where you invest and it grows and then you pay taxes when you take it out. You have a Roth where you put in money you've already paid taxes on. So when you take it out, it's, quote, tax-free. And so that can happen with private equity. That can happen with real estate.
Interesting. And for a first-time investor out there that is thinking about private equity, what maybe should they know before making an investment?
First is, the key word here is due diligence. We're a non-fiduciary, which means that we don't do the due diligence on the assets.
Okay.
The individual investor, that's why it's self-directed, needs to make sure they're doing the due diligence on the assets. That's very important. The other thing they can do to learn more is go to our website, NDTCO.com. There is so much information about the idea of using private equity in your IRA.
Right. And is that the best way for people to get started and to get involved with you and to have you help them with the self-directed IRA?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a plethora of information on our website, and that probably is the best step, you know, to start the journey.
Great. And also, let's talk about diversifying your investment portfolio. Why is that such a key thing to focus on?
Well, I think it's what I find incredibly interesting about alternative assets is that it allows you to take your money and put it in places that you know the best locally, right? So we talked about breweries, for example. If you have a buddy who you know is the greatest lager maker ever, now you have the ability to invest locally. And some of our investors invest locally just because it's the right thing to do. And so I just think it's so cool to think of portfolio diversification from this kind of traditional world, which is not bad,
right?
But opening it all the way up so you can actually put money where you live.
And especially if you know the person, you know the business owner, you know their product,
Absolutely.
It's something that you feel passionate about yourself
Absolutely.
and that you can support
That's
well, right?
That's the most exciting part about it, because people are actually
Wonderful.
investing in what they know.
Yeah, and you have a great deal for our
We
viewers,
do.
is that right?
That is. So people can go to New Direction, NDTCO.com, and somewhere around here somewhere, there is a code for, we'll waive the application fee.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you always stopping by
Of
the
course.
show
Thanks,
and
Sam.
bringing us a wealth of knowledge,
Absolutely.
especially about all of these financials. So thank you so much.
Appreciate
we appreciate it.
Thank you.
And invest in what inspires you with a self-directed IRA with New Direction Trust Company. The answer is always yes. Call them today at 877-1270 or visit them online at NDTCO.com. And remember, they are offering to waive the new account opening fee just for Mile High Living viewers. So enter the code MHL-2024 to get started today. They paid for this segment.